Welcome to the show, guys. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor, FTFN Week 9. Excited to dive in. And can you guys confirm with me, are we live this time? I think we are. I think it's working. We are live here, FTFN. Norb, just chime in if it's not working. But, guys, if it's your first time tuning in, make sure you guys follow FanToFanNetwork.com. Head on over there for all the latest news notes from the top influencers on the planet for the NFL team. The best of the best, real raw personalities, all in one spot. FanToFanNetwork.com. Smash thumbs up and feel free to chime in the comments, guys. All right. So let's start with the news and notes here. Actually, we're going to start off with injuries. Jeff, what is going on, man?
Yes, sir. So what we've got is we've got some key names returning. We've got some key names out. The big one, or the big two, I should say, right off the bat would be McCaffrey, as active as you guys probably saw earlier in the week. He's going to play for the Panthers. That's good news for them, bad news for everybody else if he gets his normal load that he gets. And then Michael Thomas is trending towards playing tonight against Tom Brady and the Bucs. And so they need him back to kind of take the pressure off Kamara and help Breeze out a little bit.
Jeff,
of the early games.
Jeff, sorry to interrupt. With Christian McCaffrey, my concern is limited reps. Do you think he's 100% good to go, or do you think there's an issue that he might be limited? Because that's an issue for fantasy people if you start him and then he just plays for like a couple snaps. Mind you, they do need him this week big time, right?
Right. Well, they're playing KC. And, I think there's always concern that he could be limited, and I understand that from a fantasy perspective. But, he has a history of being, training really hard. I think he's going to be fine. And with the fact that, yes, I understand that his backup, Davis, did a really good job while he was out. But that defense is going to have a hard time containing Patrick Mahomes in that offense.
Right.
It's going to be tough. And even if he's getting, limited reps in terms of running between the tackles and things of that nature, he's also a big time receiver, as you guys well know. So I think he's going to get plenty of touches, and they may limit him in the beginning and then realize, we got to go back to him and get him his touches. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it on that. And Thomas is kind of the same thing. That's a big game for them tonight against Tampa Bay. So that's kind of the same type of situation. But a couple of early game things that we got going on. Ridley is probably not going to play today against the Broncos. I don't think he's going to play. He hadn't done anything in practice all week. One of the things that's of note for Baltimore is that Mark Ingram's not going to play. His ankle's messed up. I know that these guys are not offensive players, but from a fantasy perspective for Colts receivers, it's interesting that the secondary for the Ravens is really banged up. Humphrey's out with COVID, I believe. And then Jimmy Smith, if he does play, is not anywhere near 100%. So that's a big deal for Phillip Rivers and the Colts to hopefully pick on that a little bit. On the flip side of that, you got T.Y. Hilton that is doubtful to even play today. So whoever's backing him up, multiple guys there, look for them to get an increase in targets. Let's see. Zeke is going to play against the Steelers. It is not going to matter, in my opinion, because it's the Steelers and the Cowboys have nobody to play quarterback. So
I think our Cowboys guys are going to argue that. I think they've got something to say a little bit later on the show.
they might, but I live here in Texas, and I've been listening to their flagship station, and it's one of those things that they're going to load the box. The Steelers are going to load it up and make somebody else beat them, I think. Galladay's out for the Lions today. He's got a hip injury. Stafford's back off the COVID list. I think that's the second time this year that's happened, but we'll see who he's throwing to. Maybe Marvin Jones. Like I said, we already went over Hilton. Minshew's out for the Jaguars, so look for Robinson to get tons and tons of touches with the backup rookie quarterback in. Sammy Watkins out for the Chiefs. Let's see. Josh Jacobs is going to play for the Raiders. And then the only other one that I think is worth even noting at all is that Chris Carson's going to be out today versus Buffalo. And Carlos Hyde is as well. So they're going to pick somebody up, Homer or DJ Dallas, who had a pretty good week last week. One of those guys is going to have to carry the load for the Seahawks in the backfield, which basically means Russell Wilson's probably going to throw it 45 times.
All right. That's pretty much it, Jeff? That's it?
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks. We appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. All right, let's move over to Matt and talk about the latest news and notes. And we covered injuries. Matt, is there anything else in the news that we need to be aware of going into this week? Any politics? Well, no politics, but any political news for sports anyway?
Oh, yeah. We're going to stay way far from
far left. Hold on. Far left or far right? I'm just joking.
Don't do this to me.
All right.
After we were having our team meeting about a half hour ago, kind of going over everything here, and while we were doing that, there was some breaking news out of the NFL as the Seahawks have awarded a multi-year contract extension to their head coach Pete Carroll. The details, the term, and the contract worth is yet to be released, but once that is updated, head on over to FTFNnetwork.com and I'll have the news there. Speaking of the Seahawks, they're also going to get Jamal Adams back today for the game against the Buffalo Bills. The New York Giants have chose to not play Golden Tate. He didn't travel with the team Saturday and is inactive for today's game as a part of a discipline from his actions after last week's loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Cleveland Browns have placed Baker Mayfield on the COVID reserve list after close contact with a staffer who is believed to tested positive for the virus.
Hold on, close contact. What was he doing?
I'm not in that facility. I'm over here in Toronto, Ontario. I don't know what's going on.
Who was he making out with? You don't know. Not that much details behind this, right? Just all right.
I mean, if those details are released, I'll have that up on Facebook.
All right.
The Buffalo Bills have placed linebacker Matt Milano on IR after dealing with some subsequent injuries the past couple of weeks. Some good news out of Baltimore. Former free agent and Dallas Cowboy Dez Bryant has been activated to their active roster.
Wow.
It is unlikely if he'll get any other reps today, but it'd be great to see him get some action. And speaking of the Cowboys, they are to start backup quarterback Garrett Gilbert in their game against the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers. So things go from bad to worse for America's team.
Hold on. How could you forget the biggest news? How about Mr. Antonio Brown is back? Mr. AKA Drama should be back. How do you feel about that?
I mean, okay, so the thing with the Buccaneers, I don't think that Antonio Brown is necessarily going to be the problem. I think it could be Evans and Godwin kind of upset that Brown is stealing his reps from them. So, I mean, there's a lot of personalities in that locker room, along with Tom Brady and Leonard Fournette. So, I mean, it's going to add fuel to the fire there. It could be, a Super Bowl making decision, or it could just completely crumbled his franchise. So
huge egos. With Evans has got an ego too. I can imagine there.
I mean, name a wide receiver who doesn't.
That's true. Guys, that's
these
true.
Guys are high profile people. They all care so much about their brands. So, and I mean, you're going against a divisional rival in the New Orleans Saints, who have been kind of on and off this year. It's really going to be interesting to see how that acquisition and how that addition to that offense is either going to make or break the season, and especially with that division being so competitive. It's Antonio Brown could be the straw that broke the camel's back there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Thanks, Matt. We appreciate you, man. You have your own show. You have a preview show we release, I believe, every Wednesday here, Fan to Fan. Make sure you guys subscribe to catch that preview show. Thanks, Matt. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks.
All right, let's start off with the Seahawks and the Buffalo Bills. This is weird to see you, Norb, this early in the show. I mean, usually you're waiting till the bitter end here, and you're just, waiting to get it out. You're waiting to, the anticipation for you. But now you get to go first against the Bills.
Hey, man, I'm excited. Yeah, this game has been circled on my calendar for a while as a very tough game. Of course, it's a 10 a.m. game, East Coast, all that stuff. So I expect this to be a good one, but. The weather over in Buffalo, contrary to what I thought it was going to be, has been beautiful, blue skies. So I don't know. It's fit for ball thrown weather. And since we don't have any of our starting running backs, really, Russell's going to have to cook over there in Buffalo. So I'm excited, man. Get some Buffalo meat going.
I'm down the street. God. I'm 45 minutes away. I should go make an appearance there. What's going on, Dan?
What's going on, Joe? Like Norb, I'm very excited about this game, but it does come with my share of concerns. We are going to be without Matt Milano, let's be honest. And when Matt Milano is not out on the field, the Buffalo Bills are 1-2. We're 5-0 when he is out on that field. and it could not have came at a worse time, especially since we're going up against, probably one of the best offenses in the NFL, the top scoring offense in the NFL. So as far as the defensive standpoint, I'm just hoping that we can slow the bleeding. I don't think that we're going to be able to shut out the Seahawks by any means. I think there's nothing we can do to stop them from putting up at least 30. I'm just hoping that Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, John Brown, and Beasley, they can make the most of their opportunities once they do have possession, make mistake-free football, and hopefully we see a shootout with the Bills coming out on top today.
Norb, who takes this one, man?
Oh, man, I think if you're hoping for a shootout, you're hoping for a bad thing, man, because Russell Wilson can shoot him out better than anybody right now. So when we're going to have to, you guys at least have a choice. You do have a running game, but ours is pretty banged up. But I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. Actually, the fact that we don't run the ball and Russell's just going to have to throw it might just be bad news for you guys. But if the line can protect and we win the turnover battle, I think Seattle's going to have this game. For my score prediction, I'm saying Seattle 28 and Buffalo 21.
Well, I got a question, Jamal. Before I let you guys go, Jamal Adams, he's playing. Can I get the impact for both of you guys on expectations on how big of an impact that'll be, both for an offensive standpoint from Dan, and then from a defensive standpoint? Does that really up the game for you guys? So, Dan, what do you think?
I think it's huge. We haven't had him in practically this whole past month, and now he's full go. Completely recovered from that groin injury that's been nagging him for the past month. And man, it's huge. He was a huge impact before he went out. And the fact is, Seattle still can't get home with their front four. We have to manufacture pressure. And Jamal Adams is one of the leading sackers on this team, regardless of the fact that he missed the last month. So him, along with Carlos Dunlap that we got in that trade with the Bengals, I'm super excited to see what those two guys can do. Maybe the combination of the both of Jamal Adams coming in from the edge, or up the middle, and Dunlap doing what he can do. I'm super excited to thought that we might actually have a defensive end who can actually get to the quarterback. So I think the two of those guys immediately gives this defense a huge boost that we haven't seen in a while.
Are we in trouble, Dan? Are the Bills in trouble?
So, I mean, as far as considering Jamal Adams, if there's any coaching staff that I trust to contain Jamal Adams, it's going to be Sean McDermott. I mean, he's been coaching against this athlete within his same division throughout the past 2 years. And when you look at the statistics, granted, he was playing for the New York Jets. But I mean, he was never really much of a factor in any game that so the Buffalo Bills have faced against him. McDermott always seems to find an answer for him, whether or not that he just avoids him at the end of the day and he just maybe goes on ahead and he focuses in on more favorable matchups. He's definitely the best safety in football. There's no doubt about that. But I really think that the Seahawks and the Bills, this is going to be more of an offensive focused game, because I think that both defenses are going to struggle tremendously against each other's offenses today.
All right. I didn't get a final score from you, Dan, on this one.
38-35 Bills. I'm sticking to my shootout.
Ooh. Wow. Wow. That's bold. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you being on, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you both.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's move on here. Ravens and Colts here. I got the Colts covered. I don't really want to talk about them. I don't like them too much. I'm surprised they're 5-2. Joe, what do you think, man? Why don't we start off with the Ravens this week? What do you think?
What are you talking about? You don't know why they're 5-2. The Colts are a good team, bro. They have a good defense, man.
Still not sold, man. I mean, they're getting it done. The running back situation, they still haven't honed in and focused on our guy, Jonathan Taylor, but the other guys are getting it done. And at the end of the day, I'm very
that's
biased.
Why you're salty, because they're not playing Jonathan Taylor.
I'm very fantasy biased. So I mean, that's what I'm leaning to. I want my JT to go. So I mean, they're getting it done. I know T.Y. Hilton's banged up and questionable. I'm looking for guys like Doyle to step up in the red zone there. I'm looking for Michael Pittman to finally be a factor, because we invested so much draft capital in him. I think it's going to be a good game. Both 5-2 teams. We, being at home, are the favorites. So what are your thoughts on that? How do you like that?
I think it's going to be a tough matchup, man. Lamar had, I would probably say, his worst game of his career, probably in the regular season against the Steelers last week. He absolutely lost us that game, in my opinion. So we can't see that again. Basically, we just can't be turning the football over. I want to see us running the football. That's what we do best. We put up over 200 yards on the Steelers defense, who had the best run defense in the league at the time. Now the Colts have the best run defense in the league, as I understand it. So, but I do truly believe that we're able to run the ball on pretty much any defense. Not trying to be cocky here, but it's just, that's what I believe. So, I think we should have a decent game as long as Lamar doesn't turn the football over as he was doing last week. No penalties. Offensive line has to hold up. I think we should be able to get this win. You're going to see Lamar Jackson on turf. You're going to see Hollywood Brown on turf. So just expect some of that speed. And hopefully we'll be getting to be able to throw up the X a couple times here. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what goes on, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I genuinely think it's going to be an entertaining matchup. Again, that's why it's -1 point. I think the Ravens, if they get everything in sync, they could beat the Colts. But again, our defensive stand will hold us in this game. So I'm excited about this one. So what's your score prediction on this, man?
I think it actually might be a little bit lower scoring than a lot of people are expecting because these are two really good defenses. Now, Ravens are without their best defensive player, Marlon Humphrey, as we mentioned earlier, but I still think it'll be like a type of maybe, say, 25-21 type of game. I have the Ravens winning. The way that we're playing right now, I just don't see us having a blowout win whatsoever, so.
Yeah, I hate to be biased here, but I'm not going to be biased here. I'm going to go, I think the Ravens end up putting more points on the board for this one. So, yeah, I'm thinking 24, 13, something like that, 20, something like that. Yeah, I don't see the Colts getting it done. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm not a Rivers fan. I don't like the old goats. I like the young blood. I like bringing in guys that could be potential franchise quarterback situations. I hate situations where they bring a watered down quarterback trying to revive his career and hoping for a miracle for a guy who's just never done it in his career in the past, right? So, again, I think the Ravens just put up more points on the board this week. That's kind of my prediction one way or another. So, yeah, Joey, appreciate it, man. Thank you. Let's move on here to... let's go with Denver here. Denver and Atlanta. So JT's going to cover Atlanta. What's going on, JT?
What's going on, man?
What's going on with the Falcons, man, this year?
So the Falcons are coming into this game, I think, pretty much healthy. Atlanta has been 2-1 ever since their interim head coach took over. And they're facing a Denver Broncos team that's coming off an emotional win last week. They defeated the Chargers. Still trying to figure out how that happened. The Drew Lock hype train for me was really high, but now I'm kind of off him. He turns the ball over a little bit too much.
Right.
So I know Joe's probably going to get mad, but I'm going to take Atlanta with the upset. Don't trust Drew Lock with the football. He turns the football over way too much. Atlanta has a pretty solid offense. They can make you pay. The question is their defense. But, I mean, your defense shouldn't really be that big of a question if you have a quarterback that's turnover prone. So I'm taking Atlanta with the upset. Broncos have emotional victory. I think Atlanta ends up going 3-1 with their new interim head coach.
Very nice breakdown. Joe, I think you're going to argue this one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, Broncos, we're coming off of a huge comeback against the Chargers. And Drew Lock actually limited his turnovers pretty well in that game. He made a couple of bad throws, but for the most part, he came through at the end. Like, it was very frustrating watching for those first 2-3 quarters, just because he actually was being too conservative. Like, he was making bad throws, and when he was taking shots, they were just bad shots downfield. And then in the fourth quarter, things just started clicking. I think that he'll actually be able to carry that momentum forward. People got to remember he's only started 8-9 games in his career now, and he's only played a complete 8 games. He's 5-3 now in his career in games where he started the entire game. But I think that this game could turn into a shootout here because the Broncos, as injury rattled as they are, they're even more injured now. They lost A.J. Bouye to a concussion. They have Mike Purcell, our star run-stuffing defensive lineman's out. And we just lost Shelby Harris as well due to COVID. So we have an entirely backup defensive line coming in this game. And we have backup cornerbacks going up against Julio Jones. But thankfully, Calvin Ridley does look like he'll be out.
What's going on with Jerry Jeudy while we got you on here? I mean, is his chemistry getting better with Locke? I mean, one of the best route runners coming out of the draft. We haven't seen anything that's like, wow, I'm not wowed yet.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think the biggest problem has just been the quarterback play so far with Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy, he's getting open pretty much in every single play. He's been a phenomenal wide receiver. Last week before the game, Drew Lock and Pat Shermer, our offensive coordinator, were talking about that they wanted to get Jerry Jeudy involved. And it came through. I believe he had 10 targets in the last game, eight targets, I believe, something around there. But I think that Jerry Jeudy is going to start to catch his flow here. And with the Falcons just weak secondary, weak passing defense, I think that Drew Lock and Jerry Jeudy could be a stack that eats this week.
Can I get the final score from both?
So I got a question.
Yeah, sure.
if the Broncos basically whole entire defensive line is injured, how are they going to stop the run game? Because one thing that Atlanta has done well over the last couple of weeks is run the ball with Joe. We already know how much you love Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley has been really good. And if Denver's defensive line isn't going to be able to stop the run, Atlanta should be able to win the time possession battle, which is going to keep Denver's offense off the field. And one thing that's going to be really important for Denver is going to be, are you going to be able to get off the field on third down? Because if Denver's defense is banged up, and we're looking at Atlanta team that's had a pretty good success with Todd Gurley over the last couple of weeks, if that time possession battle favors Atlanta and Drew Lock and that Denver Broncos offense doesn't click right away, then, I mean, how do you expect to win if you can't stop the run?
Here's the thing is that, so I don't actually would beg to differ, and I don't think Todd Gurley has been that good on the ground. He's actually been wildly inefficient. He's just been getting all of his points and all of his money in the red zone on the goal line. But Brian Hill has actually been pretty solid, even though I think that he's probably a garbage player.
He's got concrete for hands. His hands are concrete. I can't catch.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but so I mentioned that Shelby Harris is out and Mike Purcell is out. But the thing is that Mike Purcell was actually out last week. Shelby Harris is actually going to be the only difference on the defensive line between last week and this week. We still have Bradley Chubb in there and Malik Reed, who are pass rushers, but they've been very good at stuffing the run as well. So we did a solid job against the run last week. And I honestly think that the Chargers running game with Justin Jackson and that Pope guy, I think that they're actually better at this point in the season than the Falcons rushing game with Brian Hill and Todd Gurley. I mean, I'm not saying that Todd Gurley won't be able to come out there and just have a strong game, but I have faith in this Broncos defense.
All right. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm still taking Atlanta with the upset, but we'll see. This game gets played at 1 p.m., right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
They're not the upset. They're actually the 4-point favorite are the Falcons right now, believe it or not. Yeah.
Didn't even know that.
Yeah, I think that's surprising. The Broncos are a 3-win team. The Falcons just barely skirted to their second win last week.
Well, I think they found their groove. That's what Vegas is betting on. All right, guys, appreciate you being here. Let's move on to this game, the highly anticipated. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about this one. Carolina, why don't we start off with Big Cat? Do we have some energy today?
Yeah, I got some energy today for us.
Here we go.
We got a chance to win this game. All right, you want to know what the chance is, Joe?
You like Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber? You know, you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah, there's a chance. Listen, man, if Patrick Mahomes goes shoots a State Farm commercial and it takes up 60 minutes of the game, then we got a chance. All right, so look, realistically, you asked the question about Christian McCaffrey. He's coming back. They're going to take the restrictions off of him. He's full speed to go. All right, so Matt Rule wanted to bring him back when he was 100%. He could have brought him back against Atlanta. He didn't feel like he was 100%. He's not bringing him back to limit him. So for all you fantasy lovers out there, if you're into playing Christian McCaffrey, he's a must start. All right, he's going to go bananas. We got a favorable matchup when it comes to Teddy Bridgewater against that defense. I don't really believe in Kansas City Chiefs defense. And that's about it. And Curtis Samuel, I think Curtis Samuel's going to have a big game. He's been on fire as of late the last 3 games going back to New Orleans. But then listen, it's hard to get up for this one. We struggled against the New Orleans Saints backup receivers. We struggled against Julio Jones, which we played 20 yards off the ball, still got beat. And I love my squad, but I can't play with you guys today. We're going to be fucked. We're going to be fucked when it comes to defense, man. And this game could get ugly. We haven't given up any deep balls, but I think that could change today.
Before we go to Ryan, I just want to say that sometimes certain teams, when faced with adversity, step up to the challenge. And I don't think Carolina is that bad of a team. Now, if we were talking Jets and Chiefs, we kind of know how that turned out. But yeah,
put the camera back on me, goddammit. Listen,
sure, okay.
Let me tell you this right here. That's cute, and I'm glad you said that. But we're the youngest team in the league, and one thing Carolina has yet to do so far this season is focus for a full 60 minutes. Okay, now veteran teams, when they're faced with adversity, veteran teams can respond. But when you're the youngest fucking team in the league and you're inconsistent with your play across the board, offense, defense, and special teams, then the upset is likely improbable. You know what I mean? So I get it that theory goes good with a veteran team, but we're not there yet. And that's okay. We're just young. I mean, it's going to take about a season or 2.
You know, we're
talented. Listen, we're talented. We're talented. There's talent on that team. We're just inconsistent.
Ryan, always humble, but shouldn't be. Ryan, what's going on, man?
You know, I feel for Cat because you never know. You could have like a ketchup bottle incident or something. Pat could have some troubles, right? But I agree with you. It's hard to see the overall game working out for Carolina. I think the Chiefs are pretty confident. I think they found their groove, whether it's a choice to play deep coverages and really take away some of the hill and the over routes and those kind of things. They're going to try to run with Lev Bell and Clyde Edwards-Helaire as well. So I think they feel pretty balanced. But there are a couple of guys, and like you said, they're young and talented. Jeremy Chin's young. Brian Burns is a guy that scares me, and I think he's only on his way up too. So there are some things that this isn't like Chiefs-Jets. This is something they got to pay attention to. And I like the way that the Panthers are on an upward swing. I think that they have talent in the right places. We'll see how it works out for them, but I actually have them do fairly decent. I think this is going to be lower scoring than most people think. I have a 28-17 Chiefs.
Okay. You want that?
Okay.
I don't know what to say about it. I don't have it being close, man. I mean, listen, we may keep it close at halftime, maybe so, but Patrick Mahomes going to do – listen, we're going up against the reigning champions. You know what I mean? Those guys are peaking at the right time, and we're being inconsistent at the wrong time. You know what I mean? We lost 3 straight. Again, we're reeling. Hopefully those guys can pull one out for the Gipper like Rudy did in Notre Dame, but I don't see it happen, man. I don't even see it being close. Y'all got too many weapons, man. Too many goddamn weapons. I think we got Corn Elder as one of our cornerbacks, and we got Dante Jackson who has a toe injury, and possibly Troy Pride.
I got to say something here, and I got to direct this to Ryan. I told you so. Le'Veon Bell is the most overrated running back in history, and he's still chickening out to box me. What is going on with Mr. Fumbleitis over there?
I don't know about the whole boxing thing, man, but I think he's a pretty solid number 2 running back.
Number 2. This guy's supposed to be the top 5 guy. That's what we're told. Everyone said Le'Veon Bell's the best running back in the game. The mainstream, that's what they told you last year before he ended up on the Jets. I told you he was a product of the Steelers offense. And then when he ended up on the Chiefs, finally he's on a good team. Le'Veon Bell's going to be the one. He's going to thrive. He's going to kill it. I'm still not climaxing. I still have not reached my climax yet. I'm still waiting. This is very anticlimactic. And I'm going to rip in. I want to see something. Show me something, right?
They'll show you something. I think when he came over, I had him as a top 5 running back on the roster. I mean, that's about all you can do. But, you know, I think he'll put in some reps. And the nice thing is that the experience factor is already helping. We saw Clyde Edwards-Helaire take a step forward in his pass block, which is one of the key problems that we're always concerned about with when anybody comes into the Andy Reid system is being able to pick up those protections. And I think actually Lev Bell's had a positive aspect on Clyde already in that part of the game that he does need to work on.
Well, he's got an easy matchup versus position. He's got to do something. I will be on social media ripping into him today if he doesn't do anything. And I've watched his boxing tape because I started my new Joel Camo show, and I've actually had some fighters on my show. Honestly, a true story. And they broke down his tape, and the guy doesn't keep his hands up with his boxing. And I think his boxing is actually now interfering with his gameplay. So. Yeah, not excited here, Ryan.
You got to protect the head, man. I mean, hands up.
We're just lucky that the Chiefs do not need much of a running game because they could do it everywhere else, right?
It is a plethora of options out there.
Well, thanks, guys, for being here. I appreciate it. Good luck to both of you. Well, good luck mainly to Big Cat, anyway.
Hennessy for all of us.
All right, let's get speaking of the Chiefs, let's get Pat Mahomes, a.k.a. Troy, a.k.a. the Detroit ambassador, with the Vikings. This is going to be a good game. I'm actually looking forward to this game. Where are you, Troy?
I'm right here, Joe. What's up, man?
Man, oh man, you guys are the underdog against the Vikings. The Vikings look a little lackluster to say the least. Now there was a good performance out of Dalvin Cook. So what? I don't even care about the Vikings. My question is, how are you going to stop Dalvin Cook? That's my question. I don't care about the Vikings. Just how are you going to stop Dalvin Cook? That's all I care about.
Yeah, Joe, I think that's the answer, man. We have to stop Dalvin Cook. It kind of concerns me thinking of him like how Alvin Kamara went against us. But the last 3 weeks, that's been our strength, right? We've stopped the run. The best team in the league is stopping the run the last 3 weeks, only 2.8 yards per carry allowed. I think that's where it starts. But, Joe, let me tell you, I don't know if William heard about this, but I got to tell you about Everson Griffin, man. I don't know if you heard him during the week.
I heard he's coming for them, Griffin. Right? He's coming for them.
Yeah, he's coming for him. He was mad at Mike Zimmer. He called him just a good player. So I'm hyped. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to get from him, but he said he's going to show him on Sunday. So hopefully that helps in the run game and in the pass game.
Yeah, I mean, what do you got to say about that, Will?
We love Everson Griffin. We hope he has a successful end of his career, just not today. Look, the one thing I've learned last week when the Packers decided they didn't know who they were playing, I guess, and Mike Zimmer, is Mike Zimmer's taking control of this team. If you look at the stat line last week, Dalvin touched the ball 30 times just on rushes. He had 2 more catches. Kirk only put it up 14 times. This is going to be an old-fashioned black and blue North game today. The Vikings are going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball. Now, if the Lions put 9-10 in the box, I'll take my chances, Jefferson and Thielen one-on-one against the Lion D-backs. So we'll see. And the Viking defense, it is what it is. And Zim understands that. He's going to play ball control. The 2 games the Vikings won this year, Dalvin's carried the ball over 25 times. I expect to see a lot of it today. And for Everson, it is what it is. I really like Everson. I was a big fan, but I'm one of those guys, I'd rather lose a guy a year early than overpay him for 3 years like he was asking for. And he went to the Cowboys. Did he do anything for the Cowboys? Wasn't like he signed with the Lions. He was with that Cowboy defense. Everybody thought he was going to make a difference, and the Cowboys traded him to Detroit. And let me tell you something. I know Zim will be our head coach next year. If Detroit don't show up today, how much longer are you all going to keep this clown from New England your head coach? Detroit has a lot to play for today, not us. We lose, it's okay. We're 2-5. No one's expecting nothing of us. Detroit, you guys keep telling us every year it's going to be the year, going to be the year, going to be the year. And every year Detroit does what Detroit does. They finish last and they get laughed at. And I don't think anything's going to change today.
Wow.
Oh, man. Hey, look. Okay, I was going to talk about something else, but I'll talk about it. I think the perfect stat to sum up what he was talking about, though, with the whole game control. Look, when the 2 games they won this year, Kirk didn't throw a pick. So, they're going to rely on the run game, and that's how they're going to win. Now, the whole Patricia thing, hey, look, desperate times, you got to do some things. So he's right. He's right.
It's supposed to be the Belichick coaching tree. Not Patricia, the great hire. Oh, my God. Look, it's the same Detroit Lions. As long as the Ford family owns that team, you guys will never win more than 8 games. That's just the freaking truth. There's no commitment to football. Matt Patricia's a joke. Come on. When y'all going to put your fans out of your misery and actually do something worthwhile?
Oh.
Come on, guys. Look.
Shots fired.
The NFC North, there's a pecking order. It's the Packers and the Bears with history. The Vikings have a good history. And I don't think anyone else in the fan-to-fan network would agree that Detroit's done anything in their existence.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. We have a bad history. And that's why I want to keep a coach, because that's what we never do. We never keep a coach.
Oh, please. Holy cow. I will lose today if that means you guys keep Matt Patricia. I will keep you a top 10 pick for the next 10 years. I cannot wait. Every Viking fan is cheering for Matt Patricia today. Please, Matt Patricia, stay. Please, because that means you keep Stafford. Please do us a favor and just keep Matt Patricia and don't change anything, because that has worked wonderful for you.
Hey, that actually be different for us to do that. Hey, but no, hey, look, I love Stafford. Patricia's got to prove it. He's right. Hopefully we do it today. I don't know. I mean, I think we get the win today. I'm like with him, though. I think it's going to be a old school. I got field goal kind of game. I got 19-16 Lions.
Wow.
I got 28-24. I think the thing to look for today is that Dalvin hasn't had that many catches. Last year he had catches. Today, I think you start to see Dalvin emerge in the passing game a little more, and we'll see what happens. And hey, look for Jefferson to have a big day. If you guys put 9 in the box to stop the run, I will take Jefferson and Thielen all day and Irv Smith against your D-backs all day.
Yeah, the DBs need some work there, Troy. Now, I want to ask you, so Stafford, you said, is playing today? Troy?
Yes.
But Galladay is out, though. But, I mean, he's using other receivers anyway for most of the
right. Yeah. So Stafford didn't practice all week. He was on the COVID list. He actually tested negative all week, so he'll play. Hey, for your fantasy, Marvin Jones, right? Last year he had a 4-touchdown game. He'll be the number 1 today. So expect him to be the guy. But look, I think we have enough weapons to put up more points than what we're doing. I think this is a proven game for our offensive coordinator. That's how I'm looking at it.
All right. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. We got to move on here to the Bears and tighten up. This is going to be an interesting one. Bears have something to prove in this game. They got to win. So let's start off with Faizan, man. You guys, you got to win here. You have to win.
What's going on, Joe? I thought I was going to keep the positive vibes, but no, I'm just bringing negativity like Big Cat did because we're coming off of 2 straight losses here. So it's a tough going for the Bears, even though we had such a great start to the season. Not saying the season's over. We're still 5-3, obviously. But again, 2 straight losses really does hurt. And as far as today's matchup against the Tennessee Titans, very good team. Certainly offensively they are. Defensively, I don't think they're going to have Jadeveon Clowney and a couple other players. But again, the Bears offense can't do anything against any defense, so it shouldn't really matter for them. What I'm looking for in this game really is just how the Bears, decide to play the Tennessee Titans. But between Tannehill and Derrick Henry, it's kind of pick your poison because Tannehill's been very good this year, and we all know Derrick Henry's a top 5 running back. I would personally try to stack the box and stop Derrick Henry and let Ryan Tannehill, if he can, try to beat us through the air. And that's kind of the way I see this game going offensively. Like I said, we really can't do anything because our offense is awful. But again, hopefully Nick Foles has a better game, and hopefully this is the game David Montgomery. I sound like a broken record, Joe. Hopefully this is the game David Montgomery.
You sound like me last year. That was me last year when I drafted him in the 3rd round. I thought he'd do something. Doesn't do anything.
He's like the most boring running back in the NFL because he gets you your like 10 points and then that's it.
Same with David Johnson. They just can't break out for runs. Now he had a mini breakout. Was it last week? 37 yards or something like that?
Yeah, he did that. He finally made a guy juke and broke a tackle. It was about damn time, but our offensive line can't protect. And that's the biggest thing I want to call out here is we're having a Bengals situation that they did last week. This week, our entire offensive line is going to be out. We're going to have all practice squad guys and backup starting. So, again, the Bengals did that, and they pulled out a victory against the Tennessee Titans. I don't know if lightning's going to strike twice and we can do that. But I got to be objective here. I doubt it. I have the Bears losing this matchup. I think they lose 27-24.
Mark, man, what's happening?
Oh, I can't explain it, Joe. I feel like it's post-game. Post-election talk. We're fired up about the Lions and the Vikings, like literally fired up. We got Big Cat and Faizan Sports that are down on their teams. When's the last time you've joined Fan to Fan Network and seen that? But I'm going to have to go post-election misery as well, right? So we're going Tennessee Titans. Oh, my gosh. So last week, Faizan brings up a great point about the offensive line. Well, last week, oh, my goodness, the Tennessee Titans got 0 sacks against the Bengals, which had 4 guys out on their starting line. And I want to put this in perspective. If you look at the stats right now, Cincinnati Bengals are 30th in the league in sacks given up. 30th, and we didn't get 1 sack against them. So I don't know. We got Clowney's out. I don't know if Faizan's heard that news or not, but he may be out for the whole year. There's the rumor there. And then offensively, you talk about fantasy football because I know that's your specialty, Joe.
Yep.
Jonnu Smith, he's going to probably be forced to stay in with Taylor Lewan obviously being lost for the season. The Titans only gave up 1 sack last week, but Tannehill's been under more pressure. Ty Sambrailo on the left tackle, he's doing an okay job, but they're going to have their work cut out for him this week. The Bears are going to get after Tannehill. So look for Jonnu Smith to kind of stay in, chip, block more, just like he did against the Steelers, where I think he had like 1 catch for 5 yards. But it's all going to come down to Derrick Henry. And Faizan and I did a little collab this week. So I got none of respect for the Bears. They're in my home turf. I'm 2 hours from Chicago. Bears fans, I'm not sure what to expect with this matchup, but look for Derrick Henry. Can he do it? And can the Bears get a defensive touchdown and special teams touchdown? Because if I think the Bears get that, Titans aren't going to be able to beat them.
Can they neutralize Henry? Can the Bears neutralize Henry, and can the Henry run over the Bears? That's the question.
Yeah, and one thing I'll just add, Joe, is as far as Henry, our weakness in our defense, even though it's elite, is our run defense. We are pretty bad against the run, so Derrick Henry can certainly do that. And please, I just want to let you guys know, when I do pick the Bears to lose, I'm trying to be objective, but this is the only time in my life I like being wrong. So I'm rooting for the Bears to obviously win here. Don't get that mistaken. But I think Mark agrees with me. I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a good game. I think the Bears are underdogs by 6.5. I think that's still too much.
Dropped to 6. It dropped to 6.
Okay. That's better. But I mean, I have it as a field goal game. But yeah, Mark, I'll let you give your score prediction.
I'm actually going to go for a tie. I'm going to say it. First time ever here on Fan to Fan Network, because I don't really think the Titans, our confidence is shot after last week. The Steelers punched us in the mouth in the first half. We came back. We made that a game. We lost by 3. But then last week, I don't know what happened. And then this week, we got all sorts of issues on defense. We won't have Adoree Jackson. Desmond King, we traded for. He's going to play. He had 1 practice under his belt. Clowney's out. We got 3 pass rushers again. We can't get after the passer. Bears got a really good defense. I think a lot of people look at the Bears and they're like, oh, they're 5-3, whatever. Bears are a good football team. And I think if any of you want to play fantasy football this week, you pick up Foles and you roll with it. Pick up anybody on the offense from the Bears, because I think Titans defense scares me this week. So I'm going to go tie, Joe. I'm going to go with tie.
Yeah, it's good. How about you, Faizan? You said
I said 27-24 Titans.
Okay, interesting. I don't know if it's going to be that high scoring, but interesting to get that feedback. You never know. Titans can put up the points, though. And again, guys, if you guys do any type of betting, that type of thing, I mean, the insight we're getting from these guys is really, really beneficial to you guys to hopefully, sway your decisions. You're getting that inside information so you guys can know, give you that extra insight. It's good to know, right? Before you place any bets.
How are the Titans a 6.5 point favorite though? I don't understand that.
Literally.
Like, seriously.
Derrick Henry.
No disrespect to the
every week. That it happens every single week for the Bears. The odds makers hate us, Joe.
Well,
you got to call up your bosses and let them know, Joe.
No, a lot of
call
things.
Those guys up.
What the heck is that? It's a fire alarm. No, listen, I've been doing the sports betting for a while, and I know that sometimes it comes down to, it's a little bit of gut feeling and sensing if a team's really good or not. And I called it from the beginning. I was like, I think the Bears are kind of like a pretender team. I didn't really see them as a team that really deserved to be whatever they were, 5-0, 5-1, whatever they were to kick off the season. And they're just, the little engine that could. They just kind of get things going. And I think the odd makers know that Tennessee has that more upside, and they kind of see it. They see through things. Like, for example, that Atlanta game, right? How is Atlanta favored over Denver and have a worse record? Well, they're at home. They've got, potentially probably a better offense, more experienced offense, that's for sure. So they just see things and they read between the lines sometimes. Sometimes the obvious isn't always obvious, right? So anyway, that's
one more point, just real quick. Titans play Thursday night against the Colts. That's a very big AFC showdown, so I'm not sure how much that's going to play into this week. You guys know, like, when you got a big matchup coming up, sometimes you're not all focused in on this week. So that's.
I'd love that. Please overlook the Bears. I'll take it.
All right, so we got to move on here. Let's go to the Giants and the football team here. Let's start with Ed. Ed, are you there?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
What's happening, man? And I'm relatively an optimistic person. I try to keep the positive energy, and I get excited, and life is too short to be depressed. But I'm not going to be. There's a bunch of other games I'll be watching at 1:00, and it's not going to probably be this one. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, this is. Yeah, I don't blame you, but this is a huge NFC least matchup. This is big implications for the NFC least standings. If we win, I think we're a half game behind the Eagles, who are awful, who probably should have lost to the Cowboys if the Cowboys had a decent quarterback other than DiNucci. So this is a huge game. And the Giants, they might get in the hunt if they win this game. One thing I will say is that Daniel Jones, a.k.a. Danny Fumbles, or Danny Stumbles, he's had 34 turnovers in 20 career games. He's second behind Ryan Leaf, who had 41 turnovers in his first 20 career games. So he's in that territory right now. So we got to get to Danny. We got to force him to fumble, force him to throw interception, or he'll just throw an interception himself anyway. So I'm looking for a big game from Chase Young, Montez Sweat. Terry McLaurin's got to step up. Kyle Allen's got to have a good game. So the defense has to really step up. I think this is going to be a grinded out game today.
Kid Blue, we haven't seen you for a week or two. What's happening, man?
Yeah, I'm here, and it's crazy how there's like a huge shift in momentum as during the beginning of the year, I was the one that's down on the Giants or down on my team, and everybody else is now down on their team. I'm here 1-7, and I'm confident going into this game. I'm feeling good going into this game. We're coming off a heartbreaking loss against the Buccaneers. We had the opportunities to beat that 5-2 team, but we came up short. I think the Giants, I know I'm not a big moral victory type of guy, but I think the Giants are coming into this pretty confident of how they played last week, going into this Washington game, and in a Washington game that, we're playing it for the second time this year, and it shouldn't even have been that close last time. Ed, you know that there was a delay of game on that last touchdown. Let's not deny that. And also the interception. I believe it was Fuller. Was it Fuller that had his elbow down on the out of bounds line, and that was still counted as an interception because it's Daniel Jones. So that being said, I'm very confident going into this game. I think the Giants come out and not exactly steamroll the Washington football team, but I think have their best win they've had in a very long time. And I'm talking probably about by 7 points or so, but that's still a good win for the Giants. We're going to be without Golden Tate, as Matt mentioned early on today, due to disciplinary actions there. But the only problem I have is the wide receivers for the Giants. A lot of them are very banged up. CJ Board's coming off of a very scary neck injury. I think he's active today. And then you have Darius Slayton, who's been on and off the injury report, who's our best receiver. Sterling Shepard still coming off that toe injury where he was on IR for. And then we have Austin Mack, who has one career reception for one career yard. So the wide receiver position is not looking good for the Giants. Our running game is looking good with the guys we have. Wayne Gallman has his best games against the Washington football team, so looking forward to that. But yeah, I'm pretty confident in this game. The Giants defense, if you learned anything from last week, the Giants defense should be feared and should be respected. So I'm confident.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why you're confident. I mean, you guys are ranked 27th in third down defense, and Kyle Allen was pretty good on third downs. And Danny, look, you can say, you should have won by more than 7 or 1 point last game, but bad teams do bad things. Right. You run the kickers, you fumble the ball, you do things like that. We gave you guys the game by not going for the extra point last game. So hopefully Ron just kicks the field goal. And if we have to go to overtime, what happens.
Wow.
Yeah, it should be a fun one.
I can't believe that a 1-7 or whatever your record is. The game means so much because you're looking at it. You're like, okay, like if we win this, we're not as bad as the Jets, right? If we win this, we have a chance to potentially keep working towards winning this division. It's crazy. Yeah. Like who would ever thought that this game is such an impact game for the Giants? Like I would never imagine.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. I've never thought, being a fan of any team, you would have never thought that being 1-7, you still have division championship implications in week 9. So it's crazy. That's how bad this division is, and I think it's historical, honestly. But it is what it is, and hopefully the Giants could build up.
Yeah, birds of the feather, they flock together in this division. You guys all suck.
Yeah, we do. We all suck.
It's the NFC least.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. We got to move on here to the nicest guy in Miami and the nicest guy in Arizona. What's going on, man? What's going on, Dougley? What's happening?
What's up, bud? How you doing?
Good, man. You guys got some swag, man. I like the way that you guys are looking. Certain games that you guys have a decent record of 4-3. I think this game is very important for you guys here today. Man, just talk, man. Let us know what's happening with the Dolphins.
I'm loving what they're doing. The defense has just been completely stepping up. Their wins have been dominant wins, especially on the defense. Last week against the Rams, that defense getting fumbles, getting sacks, that the blitzing, everything was great. Tua, first game, it was I wouldn't say it was great. I wouldn't say it was horrible. A lot of people are saying Tua's first game was horrible and calling him a bust already. And I raffled off a list of quarterbacks now playing Hall of Famers that had actually worse first games. Peyton Manning was one of them. So I thought that was funny that was happening. But I will say this, Dolphins have been completely underestimated, and I'm loving every minute of it. But this game against the Arizona Cardinals, I think is the biggest test for this Dolphins defense. They came out, they did really good against the Jaguars, the Jets. Literally anyone could do good against the Jets, really good against the 49ers, really good against the Rams. But the Arizona Cardinals are a different monster. Kyler Murray is ridiculous with his legs. The guy is just dangerous, and the Miami Dolphins have a hard time stopping that running quarterback. So we'll see how they do. But if they can continue to play at this top level on defense and get the offense going, watch out for this Miami Dolphins team.
Mike, what do you got to say about that?
Hey, what's going on, man? Nicest guy in Arizona. That's awesome. Thank you so much. We'll probably spend like about 10 minutes complimenting each other, me and Doug here. I'm just kidding. But here's the thing. Honestly, I'm actually really excited about this game as well. I know there's a lot of Fins fans that came in my channel. You know, there's the people that are like, yeah, the Fins are going to win this, no doubt. And then there's a lot of people that paid respect to Kyler Murray. And that's actually something that really feels good for the Arizona Cardinal fan to finally get like recognized and stuff like that. But honestly, I do not think this is a game to ever look past. You know what I mean? We can't look to the Bills next week. We have to go ahead and focus on what's going on, especially because the Dolphins did what they did, which did us a favor against the San Francisco 49ers and the Rams. So thanks for doing that. But their defense is really, really nasty. I'm really worried about this game. I think we might win still as a Cardinals fan. Obviously, I'm going to be biased, but this is going to be a hard-fought game. I think their defense is going to go ahead and frustrate Kyler Murray to the point that he's going to make mistakes, and that's one thing that I fear a lot.
Are you finally off the Drake train? Because I called that one. People thought Drake was like the best thing since sliced bread, and I told you he'd crap the bed in, coincidentally today, the Miami, right? He did nothing there. He was a backup for a backup, and then everyone's like, yeah, I love Drake. I got to draft him in the second round of fantasy. I go, dude, this guy is overrated. He's not that good. Are you guys over the Drake train? Is it all Chase Edmonds moving forward? He should be the starter, right?
Yeah, right now Chase Edmonds is going to be the starter, being that Kenyon Drake is going to be gone for a couple weeks. I'm thinking it's going to be 2 weeks, but yeah, Chase Edmonds is going to be number one. I hope we stick with that mentality when he does come back and just have him be the number two, because honestly, Chase Edmonds deserves to be the number one running back.
Yeah, 100%. Now, what happened to Eno? Is he still on the team?
Man, your question is, I have no clue. I don't know what's going on with this coaching staff. So if you have any more reason to hate Cliff Kingsbury, this is probably it, because there's no Eno Benjamin in sight right now. We have some guy that we got from the practice squad. His last name is Ward. And then we got DJ Foster that's been on our team for like 2 or 3 years, but he's been hurt every single year. Yeah. So I don't know why they're not thinking about putting Eno Benjamin at least as a number 3 running back. It's crazy to me.
It's crazy. Get him some reps. I mean, he looked good out of college. I'm surprised. So final score prediction on this, please.
Cool. I'll go first here. I'm going to go Cardinals 24-17.
Oh, wow. Okay. I see that. How about you, Doug?
Yeah, my score prediction's kind of the same. I honestly think that, me and AZ kind of have the same mentality of how this game's going to go. I actually have the Dolphins winning this one 20-17.
Okay, I got to ask you, Doug, while you got here, from your feeling, is Tua the real deal? Or do you think he's going to be the franchise guy? I mean, we've seen such a small sample size in the NFL, but do you think he could be the elite quarterback that, we've seen with Russell Wilsons of the world and these guys that are elite, right? Does he have that potential, or do you see him just being a guy that's going to fizzle out?
Yeah, definitely. I could definitely see. You saw in some of his passes last week against the Rams, you saw him put that ball in certain spots that just show the signs of it. The one deep pass to Gesicki was covered. That corner was all over Gesicki, and he dropped it perfectly in where it had to go. So yeah. Again, he's still learning the playbook. He's still a rookie. He's just like Burrow and his first start, how bad that was. He's still a rookie, but he's showing signs of taking the hits, staying in the pocket, reading the defense, and making the throws where they need to. Give this kid some time. I give it like another 2 weeks, and people are going to be talking about Tua and him lighting it up.
By the way, I hate Adam Shireen or Ed Shireen or whatever that tight end is. I call him Ed Shireen, Adam Shaheen or whatever the hell his name is. Tomato, Gesicki, whatever. Like, listen, I'm so sick of your tight ends because I start Gesicki and then Ed Shireen gets the ball. It's so frustrating, man. As a fantasy guy, I'm beyond frustrated with you guys.
Yeah, I feel you on that, because what happens is Gesicki will come out and he'll torch people. So then the opposing defense on the next game is like, listen, the only way the Dolphins are going to beat us is if Gesicki gets the ball. We need to double cover him. And for the whole game, they'll put the safety and the linebacker on him, and then the Dolphins have to look somewhere else. So yeah, I 100% feel you on that.
That's so frustrating. All right, Mike, any last words there?
No, man, I'm just excited about this game. Honestly, I hope we can see Kyler Murray versus Tua for years to come. It would be kind of cool. I know obviously we won't get a lot of it, but maybe playoffs, maybe Super Bowl in the future. We'll see.
Yeah, man.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate you both. Nicest guy in Miami. Well, he doesn't really live in Miami, but nicest guy, Miami ambassador, and nicest Cardinals fan. All right, let's move on here. Is Chiseled Adonis here?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. I'm still here.
What the heck is going on here?
I had to get myself a background, cover up the face with a terrible towel, because it's going to be a hell of a game tonight.
Covering up a pimple or something, or going through puberty again, or what's happening here?
Well, I do have a pimple, but I don't think that's the reason why. Because we're going up against the Outlaws out here, and regardless of the fact that they've been absolute garbage this season, I still have to give the Cowboys respect because the last time we played against them, they gave us an L. All right, so we haven't beat the Cowboys in 12 years, and as far as I'm concerned, this will be a game with Super Bowl implications. A lot of people may not see it, but I'm treating every single game like we're playing against the Kansas City Chiefs.
I like how you're not underestimating them, which I respect. But once you see Jordan right now, you're going to kind of see that maybe the Cowboys, and you're going to get a sense that he's probably checked out. What's going on, Jordan?
Yeah, Joe, I know last week I said the Cowboys wasn't going to vacation mode. We were going to Spartan, going to war. But this week, baby, we live from Draft Island, man. So I got my guy Ryan. He's out there snorkeling right now. Law Nation's out on the jet skis, man. We're having a good old time, man. The water and the weather is nice, man. So there is no chance in hell that the Dallas Cowboys can win this game with Gilbert Grape. Once those Steelers pass rush starts to come after him, he's just not going to be able to do it, man. So it's going to be an ugly game. So I know you were speaking earlier about, betting and different things like that. Leverage your mortgage right now and bet on the Steelers because it's free money today, baby. It's free money. We're going to make it rain. Ezekiel Elliott's limited. So for all you fantasy owners who've been holding on to Tony Pollard like myself, this might be that opportunity to get some type of momentum with Tony Pollard, man. But I just don't see this defense to be able to stop what Pittsburgh has in place. And our offensive line is still horrid. It's gonna be a bad game. I mean, but the weather's nice here on Draft Island. Me and Jet Central's about to take a few shots here later, man, to enjoy our Sunday. So.
Oh, well, I wouldn't take those shots too soon. I may have to take it with you, because Pittsburgh, they're notorious for having, L's against trap teams in situations like that to where they'll play down to the competition. I can only hope that Mike Tomlin keeps the troops, rallied because these games, there's been moments this season, I should say, in which we've had a lot of cracks in our armor and nobody in the country, nobody who exists, who has a pulse, believes that Dallas should be able to walk away with this game. But for some apparent reason, I feel like it's going to be way closer than it actually should. Pittsburgh leading the league in sacks coming into this game. Dallas having a beat-up offensive line, like you said. Garrett Gilbert taking his first snaps of this season, if I'm not mistaken. Zeke is limited, but up until this point, they're saying it might be a game-time decision whether he plays or not. I don't know if it's been confirmed or not whether he's going to play, but last week, Tank Lawrence finally decided to show up. I don't know why it took him so long to get off of the bus. And then you still got Aldon Smith, who's been playing well thus far, but he somewhat hit the midseason wall. But that Dallas defense up front, they're better than a lot of people give them credit for. Now, they're nothing to really, marvel at and be concerned about, but I just hope Pittsburgh doesn't overlook them. There's no reason why this shouldn't be a blowout by epic proportions, but it's just where the mentality is at. You're coming off of beating a very good Baltimore team. You got a W in the AFC North. You're still undefeated. You just have to remain focused because the next 3 games, it's pretty much give me games. You're playing against Jacksonville. You got this Dallas team. And I forget who else. I think the Bengals are coming up too. They're all winnable games that you shouldn't have problems with. But I hope Pittsburgh just stays focused and we can get ourselves a W. Because I'd hate to have to go over to Draft Island and have to take shots with you. I mean, we're not going to be picking up any draft picks early. But damn it, I might as well get some alcohol if they lose this game.
Yeah, if you guys lose to Gilbert Grape, man, come over to Draft Island, man. Like I said, we got you. We got you. But like I said, I know Mike Tomlin and how he runs this team. They're going to come in prepared. There is some type of history when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I expect for them to come to play. Hopefully the Dallas Cowboys just curl up into the ball and just don't get any injuries, man. And we make it onto our bye week, and then we'll get back to the NFC Beast division, and maybe we can possibly win that. But as of today, go take the kids on the walk. Go wash the car. Do your house project, man, because it's not going to be a nice one.
Yeah, I just got to ask you a question, Jordan. If I had said to you, week 9, you're playing a 7-0 Steelers, you're 2-6, and Ben DiCucci is starting, the Coochie, what would you have said? Would you have thought I was crazy, 2-6 Cowboys at this point?
Yeah, especially without Dak Prescott. Now, if we had Dak Prescott today, completely different energy. I'm putting back on the Spartan mask. I'm ready to go to war. Because we don't have just the backup quarterback. We got the backup quarterback that's starting today. And the fact that we brought in Cooper Rush, who was familiar with Kellen Moore, and he still didn't win the job, that lets you know how this quarterback position is just horrible. So like I said, man, I just don't see it happening. I just, like I said, no injuries today. Let's hopefully the Cowboys can get some type of momentum because as Chisel mentioned, mentioned, we did play better on defense, but that's against the Eagles. I'm not going to toss the Eagles and the Steelers into the same breath, so completely different ball game, so we shall see. But
you make a good point. You make a good point about the quarterback, because that's where I was a bit concerned, because when they brought Rush back, I'm like, all right, this guy, at least he knows the offense. When he lost the job to Gilbert, I'm like, this guy got no film. We're going to be watching film from the AAF. How do we even prepare for this guy? Nobody knows what's going on with Gilbert. So they could bring back Tony Romo, Troy Aikman, Roger Staubach. You could have had, Dak out there and hooked up with a prosthetic leg, maybe even get Andy Dalton, somebody who's got some film. Garrett Gilbert has nothing. I don't know how they prepare for this guy. You may have to play Madden or watch college film or something. I don't know who Garrett Gilbert is. I don't know his throwing motion. I don't know how quick he gets rid of the football. I don't know what's going on out here.
Now, I will say this. At least the Dallas Cowboys do have a quarterback with the Super Bowl ring starting today. Gilbert back in 2014 was on the practice squad with the Patriots, but that's about it, Cowboys fam. I have nothing for you. So like I said, go watch the car, go take care of the family, because it's going to be a wrap. I got the Steelers winning 38-3.
Damn. Oh, wow. Oh, boy. You can't even give your team a touchdown. All right.
I haven't had one of those in weeks, man.
Well, fair enough. I'll give you 2 field goals. I'll say 42-6.
Okay. Well, I want to see the background there, Jordan. One more second. Can we see the hut there behind you?
Yeah, man. Draft Island is beautiful. Like I said, Jet Central is here, man. Some of the Vikings guys, you can come on, man.
I heard the ladies are in the hut there. The ladies are all waiting in the hut to have a couple drinks and a couple shots with us. So
the party starts at noon, man. We're going to start.
Chisel and I are on our way over right now.
Oh, yeah. I see Jerry Jones is back there. They're taking shots. Go draft the fast receiver.
Yeah, exactly, man. Because he just mentioned today that he messed up by drafting Taco Charlton over TJ Watt, which we all knew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So come on, Jerry Jones, man. Let's get this party started, man. We focus on the draft right now on Draft Island.
All right. Enjoy the sun over there. And thanks, Chisel. We appreciate you too, man. Thank you. All right. We got to move on here. I probably won't be watching that one too. I'll probably start my workout around that time. Okay. Let's move on to the Buccaneers and Saints. We got Liam here covering this matchup here.
What's up, Joe? How you doing, man?
Good. I'm not a fan of Antonio Brown, just to let you know. I don't like the arrogant receiver. I like the, you know me. I like the more humble players. And he's back, gets another chance after multiple sexual allegations. And you can say they're allegations. He beat up a guy that drove a truck. He cursed on his wife, said he didn't want to be with her. Then he wanted to be with her. Then after that, what is it? Then he retired multiple times. Now he's back again. I just can't stand Antonio Clown. I don't like him. I don't like him. But
I said last week, I think I'm shocked he got another chance. But you know what? It is what it is. He's an extremely talented receiver. And
yeah,
I hope he helps us win games, and I think he will.
Yeah, you can't deny the talent. From what I'm hearing from reports, that he looks super explosive in training. So what are your thoughts on him and in regards to the target share here?
Yeah, I think he's really focused. Like you said, I think I've heard he's in phenomenal shape. I think he's got a lot to prove, and I think he's going to make the most of this opportunity I think he knows he's lucky he got another chance. And I think he's going to get a blunt of the targets. And looking at, as far as Mike Evans and Chris Godwin getting upset with losing target share, from what I understand, they had a meeting in the receiver room and they said, look, here's the deal. We're thinking about bringing in Antonio Brown. What do you guys think about it? And they were all for it. I know that sometimes Mike Evans can be a hothead on the field, pick up some personal foul penalties, but he really is a selfless player. Never once in his career has he ever complained about not getting any targets. He took a pay cut a year ago, and he's made it clear he wants to win. And if that means he's going to get some targets taken away, he's okay with that. I mean, time will tell, but he's made it clear to everybody that it's not going to be an issue. And Chris Godwin hasn't said it's going to be an issue either. So we're going to see, as far as on the field with Evans, Godwin, Gronk, Brown, I mean, Brady just has a plethora of so much talent. God, you got to think this team can put up at least 35 points a game.
So in regards to this one, they are the 4-point favorite, the Bucs and the Saints here. How does this all play out in regards to a game? The Saints, I think Michael Thomas may or may not be back. Do you think he'll play a factor? Can you break down the game a little more?
Yeah. So I think Michael Thomas is going to be playing. The last game he played was in that Bucs game. He only had 3 catches for 17 yards throughout that whole game. I think Carlton Davis is one of the top 5 corners in the NFL. Not a lot of people know his name, but they will as time goes on. The key matchup in this game is Alvin Kamara. Drew Brees, he's his favorite target, dinks and dumps to him all the time. But I happen to think that the Bucs match up against the Saints in that aspect better than anyone in the NFL, because it's the speed from our linebackers and Devin White and Levante David to take Kamara out of the game, one of the best rushing defenses in the league. So my key for this game is what it basically almost is every week, and it's keeping Tom Brady protected. We got to give him a clean pocket to throw to those receivers. Cam Jordan's going to be bringing it. And then on the other side, Drew Brees is, the Bucs, they get a blunt of their pressure from the blitzes Todd Bowles dials up. So can we get a pass rush just from our front 4 against one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, Ryan Ramczyk, Terran Armstead. So, I mean, the key is get pressure on Brees just from that front 4, keep Tom protected. I don't think Michael Thomas is going to be a factor. For fantasy people out there, he's just coming back. Carlton Davis is a very good corner. I really don't think he's going to be a factor at all in this game.
Can you explain to me what's going on with Leonard Fournette and Rojo? Did Leonard get slated as the starter? What's going on here?
It's still 50-50. Rojo is going to start the game again. He'll get at least the first couple drives. Rojo fumbled last week, I think, on the second drive of the game. Right. So as soon as he fumbled, they plugged in Fournette, and Fournette got more of the touches. It's seriously, it's week by week with these running backs. As a fantasy guy, as a fantasy owner, it's got to be frustrating, because it's just we kind of just go with the hot hand. Who's playing a better game? And last week Rojo fumbled, and Fournette was running a little bit harder, so Fournette got more playing time. And I think that's just basically how it's going to be moving forward. Who's got the hot hand, and we're just going to play it like that. I do think the first couple drives it will be Rojo, though.
Yeah, the Buccaneers are really shaping up to be a huge Super Bowl contender. I think if they beat the Saints today, they're going to take the top of the power rankings in there with the Steelers and the Chiefs, I think. So it's going to be a good one as usual, and it's going to be a good Sunday night one. So I'm excited that it's not the Giants game going on Sunday night. So I've got something to look forward to tonight for sure.
Yeah, this is finally, the Bucs fans have been waiting for this for years, man. I mean, this is our opportunity right here to really take control of the NFC South. This is the most excited I think I've been for a Bucs game possibly ever in my lifetime. So I am so excited for this game. This is the Bucs' chance to really become the leaders in the South. So we got to make the most of it. I got the Bucs tonight, 31-24.
Well, I appreciate you, Liam, for being on. What makes this matchup so interesting? You got 2 veteran quarterbacks. You've got arguably, you could say Michael Thomas, if he plays, healthy wide receiver against the best versus best. Antonio Brown versus Michael Thomas. You can have that debate. So there's a couple debates here. You've got 2 evenly matched teams. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be good, and I can't wait to watch this one.
And I can't wait either. I'm so excited. Let's go Bucs. Let's get those Saints.
All right, we got a couple more matchups to go here. I kind of jumped over the Chargers. Quick breakdown of it, Matt. Can you break down the Chargers? Then we're going to talk about the Monday Nighter. Ian from the Jets is going to cover that for us.
Yeah, I mean, I'll make it quick because I'm sure everybody wants to hear more about the Jets. That nobody ever. So I mean, look, coming into this season, we kind of saw Tua and Herbert as favorites to win the Rookie of the Year. But I mean, Justin Herbert out of the Chargers organization has really been taking a step forward, and he is kind of the leader in the clubhouse right now when it comes to Rookie of the Year candidate. And today he's going up against Derek Carr and the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to read off some numbers to you here. Very, very similar quarterbacks when it comes to stats. Derek Carr has 10 more completions, a touchdown less, and 3 interceptions less than Herbert. And he's been playing with that organization for quite some time now. The Chargers are kind of up and down every week, have yet to really been blown out. And for that reason, I really think they can get over the hump here, take care of the Raiders. And even though they are kind of in the basement of the AFC West here, I think they can rise to the occasion and get their 3rd win here.
Yeah, I mean, what's going on? He said, what's his name? Josh Jacobs. Is he going to play? I think he's going to play this one, right?
Yeah, it looks like he's going to play today, going against Justin Jackson for the Chargers. That Chargers backfield is really, really confusing. It seems like every other week some guy is either, being slotted to a starter, and then he's a 3rd down back. It's kind of confusing there. Their run game has really been kind of diminished with Austin Eckler being out for quite some time now. So And I mean, he was really never, an every down back last season as well too. He was more of a pass catcher. So I mean, it's definitely not one of those games that's on everybody's radar today. But Herbert's been posting some highlight material the past couple of weeks, and I honestly wouldn't be all surprised if he won Rookie of the Year, to be honest.
All right, fair enough. We appreciate you, Matt. Thank you again at the beginning of the show for the news and notes. Thank you. All right, let's wrap this up. I mean, I'm not going to be watching this one either, but Monday night, the Jets are playing, man. Want to talk about that, Ian, please? I think Ian's muted. Ian, you there?
Yeah, so sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. What's happening with the Jets on the Monday nighter? They are playing the Patriots. Divisional matchup. You're a 9.5-point underdog. And, 0-8. Wow.
Yeah, and it's going to be 0-9. Darnold's not going to be playing. Not that makes that much of a big difference anyway. But it's going to be boring. And quite frankly, I'm just at the point now where I want to lose these football games because for Adam Gase to come back next season, which has been rumored, that would be an absolute travesty. And then everybody, I feel like, should just be immediately relieved of their duties. But I mean, as far as this game goes, New England's going to win. I mean, Belichick just embarrasses Adam Gase week in, week, like just every year that they play. Belichick owns Adam Gase. It's pretty embarrassing, to be honest with you. Every time this Gase-led Jets team plays the Patriots, they get smoked. They get blown out of the water. They literally lose by 30 plus points every time. It's a joke.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I got to ask you here, we don't even talk about the matchup. We kind of know what's going to happen here. Like for you being a Jets guy, are you watching, like it's hard to watch at this point. I know you have to watch since you're kind of like the brand ambassador. How do you sit through and watch these games on a personal level? Just curious.
Well, it makes it a lot easier if you don't like the head coach and you want changes. So when something bad does happen, like turnovers, like, the opposing team scoring a TD, whatever the case may be, it doesn't gut you. Like you're not like wrecked after that happens. So you're just kind of numb to it. So you just watch these games and, if they make a good play here and there, that's great. But if they don't, and if, it's pretty much the opposite, somebody else does, like the opposing team does, it's just like, you know what? It is what it is. Better now this year than years from now, if that makes any sort of sense.
Yeah, so you're kind of watching, we need to improve this, we need to improve that, we understand this, we understand that. That's kind of the mentality. You're thinking of it more from an ownership standpoint when you watch it, right? On improvements.
1,000%, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way to watch it. I mean, you got to have, half glass full type thing, right?
For sure.
All right, Ian, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here. And I probably won't be watching. It gives me the excuse to take Monday night off football because, again, I won't be watching that game. But it also gives the Patriots a win that they desperately need at this point in their career, in their year.
Yeah, makes sense. Totally.
All right, Ian, thanks a lot for being here. We appreciate you, man.
No problem, Joe. I'll catch you later, man.
Go Jets, go. All right, guys, that wraps it up, guys. Thank you for being here, guys. Fan to fan, that's the breakdown, virtual tailgating here with the Fantasy Football Counselor and the rest of the ambassadors. We appreciate you guys as always. Subscribe. Make sure you are subscribed. If you're not, subscribe to the channel. We do this every Sunday, 11 a.m. Subscribe, leave a thumbs up.